certified country hitmakers. With cuts from Jon Pardi, Gary Allan, Randy Houser, and more, Brice Long is a pillar of the country music songwriting world and has no shortage of hits in his extensive catalog. Joining Brice is his good friend, Nashville legend Wynn Varble. Racking up several charting hits throughout his 42-year career, he's written #1 singles for Brad Paisley, Easton Corbin, and others, and is one of the minds behind some of your most beloved songs. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage for the first time, Wynn Varble, and for his 5th time, Brice Long.
How are y'all? Man, I am excited and glad to be back in this place, man. I love it up here.
I'm a nervous wreck.
Ryan, am I doing something wrong? No, I'm not. Thank you, buddy. All right, anybody here for the first time? All right, awesome. So is this guy over here, y'all, and you are going to be
my first time.
Absolutely blown away, man. When Jeff asked me to come back, which I'm so thankful he invites me back because I do love it up here. He asked me about getting Wynn, and I said, man, I'll give him a buzz and see if he's available that night, and he was, and man, I'm so tickled. I've been a fan of this guy for many, many years. He's one of my best buddies. We actually lived together for a little while, and we got a lot of stories about that. Some we can't tell, you know, but maybe we'll share a few. But
most we can't tell.
But man, I'm just tickled to be here, and I'm so glad Wynn's here, and I hope you guys are in for a good night of music. I'll kick this thing off. I'm gonna play this song that I wrote with my buddy Terry McBride for an artist named Casey James that was a hit at country radio. Oh, it's been a few years back, but Casey was on American Idol, got him a record deal there at Sony in town, and we got with Casey and wrote this thing, and ended up being his first single at country radio, and introduced him to the many fans that he has, and yeah, it goes like this. Love the way you look in that dress. Ooh, you got me thinking thoughts in my head. Where your body's moving slowly to the music only leaves me wanting more. Oh, baby, let's don't call it a night. Love the way you're holding me tight. When you're next to me, no place I'd rather be. Everything is feeling so right. Oh, baby, let's don't call it a night. Just let that clock tick away. 'Cause in the morning we can sleep in late. Right now let's spend our time on what we've got in mind. I'll get up and close the door. Oh, baby, let's don't call it a night. Love the way you're holding me tight. When you're next to me, no place I'd rather be. Everything is feeling so right. Oh, baby, let's don't call it a night. Hey, baby, let's don't call it a night. Love the way you're holding me tight. I'd rather be. Everything is feeling so right. Ah, baby, let's don't call it no. Let's don't call it a night. No, 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 no. Ooh. Thank
Brice
you.
Long.
Thank you.
Y'all ever noticed how many songs there are in country music about heing and sheeing? You know what I mean? Like, that's what that song's about. And, well,
There's lots of heing and sheeing that go on out there. Wynn.
in the world, there is. There sure is. There's a lot of other stuff going on, too, out there. Well, I guess this song's a little bit about he and she, and I'll do this song. This is a song that sat around for about 5 years up there in Nashville. Couldn't get a sniff on it, and this kid named Easton Corbin came along, and he was a new guy. And buddy of ours, Carson Chamberlain, said, "Man, I cut that song of yours on this Easton Corbin kid." And I said, the hell kind of name is Easton Corbin? You know, and I was like, couldn't he have a regular name like Wynn Varble or something? But anyway, he had a number one song with it, which surprised everybody, and he got nominated for Song of the Year that year, which means it didn't win. Imagine a dirt road full of potholes, with a creek bank, cane poles, catching channel cat. Well, I'm a little more country than that. Picture a small town with an old hound laying out front of the courthouse while the old men chew the fat. Well, I'm a little more country than that. I just want to make sure you know just who you're getting under this old hat. 'Cause girl, I'm not the kind to two-time or play games behind your back. I'm a little more country than that. Think of a Hank song from days gone with a steel ride that's so strong it sends chills up your back. Well, I'm a little more country than that. If you want a brick home and the school's on with the doors locked and the alarms on, girl, you're way off track. 'Cause I'm a little more country than that. I just want to make sure you know just who you're getting under this old hat. 'Cause girl, I'm not the kind to two-time or play games behind your back. I'm a little more country than that. Yeah, I'm sure that you've heard those three words from others, but they fell flat. But this ring ain't something that I mean to give you and then take back. I'm a little more country than that. I'm a little more country than that. I'm a little more country than that. y'all. So I got to tell you, me and a couple of buddies of mine wrote that song one morning. I was telling them about this old boy. I live in a little town called Hampshire, Tennessee. And we got a couple of town village characters, down there. And I was telling them about this old boy named Sparkplug, and hangs out at the gas station down there. And my wife went in there one day, and Sparkplug was standing there with one shoe on, and she said, "Sparkplug, did you lose a shoe?" He said, no, I found one. So he might have been the inspiration behind that whole song.
Sounds about right. I'm gonna play you a song that I wrote with Wynn and our good buddy Sean Kemp. It was, oh man, it's been a lot of years ago, but this is the, I'm a half down, Wynn, so yeah.
Okay.
But this was the first. This was the first major label cut I was a part of, and like I said, Wynn and I and Sean Kemp wrote this song, and then we ended up getting to sing on the record too when Gary Allan cut this song on his Smoke Rings in the Dark record.
We sang the background vocals, and we was trying to pattern ourselves. Back in the 50s and 60s, there was this old group that did all the backgrounds on all the records called the Jordanaires. Do y'all remember them? About 3 of you do.
Yeah.
And
2.5, I believe.
Yeah.
We're just not
one of them kind of remembered,
yeah.
Well, we called ourselves the Ordinaires. And
because it was very fitting. But anyway, this thing's called Sorry. What's the deal? She said, well, I just don't feel like I used to feel. With the devil's own smile, right out of the blue. She said, I done went and found myself somebody new. She said, sorry, it didn't work out. Sorry, I guess I'll see you around. She ruined my life and left me broken hearted, and all she had to say was sorry. So sorry. Ooh, sorry. Well, I laid awake crying for many a night. I just couldn't seem to get her off my mind. So I went to her, I got down on my knees and said, oh, baby, won't you please come back to me? She said, sorry, it didn't work out. Sorry, I guess I'll see you around. She ruined my life and left me broken hearted, and all she had to say was sorry. So sorry. Poor heart here found me a lover, and man, she's cool. Running on by, oh, but every head turns when she walks by. Well, we ran into my old flame the other day. Lord, it blew my mind what she had to say, 'cause she said, hello, baby, well, how have you been? I was hoping maybe we could get together again. And I said, sorry, it didn't work out, sorry. I guess I'll see you around. I know how it feels to be broken hearted, and all I got to say is sorry. So sorry. Ooh, sorry.
Well, Brice, that has been a long time, you know.
That's been a long time. That was in the 90s, Wynn.
That's 100 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wynn and I were both 10.
Yeah. Actually, I was 32 before I moved to Nashville, and Brice was, I got signed over at Starstruck at Reba McEntire's company, and Brice was the tape copy guy over there. They got a guy that, back then they had, because everybody pitched cassettes back then. And,
Yeah, all you kids look it up on the internet.
Yeah, Google.
They were square, and they had a little round thing in there that wound the tape.
And you needed a pencil.
Yeah, definitely needed a pencil.
Because they'd come unraveled every once in a while. But he worked over there as an intern when he was going to college down there at MTSU, and he'd made just copies of tapes to pitch to artists every day, and he studied them songs, man. I watched him, man. He was a student of the game, you know, and next thing I know, he was having hits himself, and I sure was tickled. This song here was released a few. Me and Brice was studying this pond out back here, and there's some action happening out there, I'm telling you. I love to fish. Brice likes to fish. I seen Brice one day. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going fishing." I said, "You got worms?" He said, "Yeah, but I'm going anyway." Now that's a country joke. Some of y'all will get that on the way home. But I love it. I'm out there every time I go to the river. Trace Adkins recorded this song. Well, I got up early on this Lord's Day with the sun peeking through the curtain. Thought I could wet a line for a couple good hours and still make the 10 o'clock sermon. But the sky is blue and the breeze is cool and they're biting good, not to mention if I left right now I might make it somehow, but I doubt I could pay attention. I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation, in an old John boat with my Zebco rod for some private conversation. There might be a few people talking bad about me when they see that I am a missing, but I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God and in church with my mind on fishing. Well, I like that preacher and I love how it feels when he really gets to throwing down. But I tend to do my talking with the Lord above when there's nobody else around. If I was there right now, I'd be thinking about which lure I was gonna cast. And he don't need another fool sitting in that pew daydreaming about a largemouth bass. I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation, in an old John boat with my Zebco rod for some private conversation. There might be a few people talking bad about me when they see that I am a missing, but I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God and in church with my mind on fishing. With my thoughts drifting, not even listening, while it all flies right over my head. I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation. In an old John boat with my zip code rod for some private conversation. There might be a few people talking bad about me when they see that I am missing, but I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God and in church with my mind on fishing. Rather be on the lake with my mind on God and in church with my mind on fishing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank JP for having us up here for sure.
Yeah.
And
how many of y'all work here? This looks like the coolest place to work that
No
I think
doubt.
I've ever seen.
Ain't
If
no
I had to
doubt.
have like a regular job, I think I'm gonna move up here.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna see if I can get hired when I retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to thank him too for letting me play this guitar, man. I tell you, I'll be honest with you, man. I met Jeff 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I think. 21 maybe, I think was the first time me and Nez came up here and played. And it's just really cool to meet somebody and immediately be great friends with them and know that you can just trust them with what you got and who you are, and they continue to just, lend a hand, do any and everything that you even think about, and then next thing you know, it's done. And it's like, Jeff is that guy, man, and he has been, I'm excited for him being in Nashville and all his peeps, man, everybody, the folks up here, the folks down there, just such a class organization and such a classy guy, man, and I got a lot of respect for that guy. And I texted him, said, hey, man, can I play one of your guitars up there? And he said, absolutely, it'll be waiting on you. And sure enough, it's a lot easier to fly without one of those things. And anytime I get a chance to not to, I try to take them up on it. But anyway, this is a song I wrote with my buddies Odie Blackman and Byron Hill, and ended up #1 for my buddy Gary Allan back several years ago. And it goes like this. Sure do hope this is a long night, 'cause I've never felt one so right. Each look into your eyes, I'm falling a little more and more. Looks like we started us a fire, wrapped up in flames of desire, with every touch of burning higher. Two shadows dancing on the wall, nothing on but the radio. Feel the music playing soft and slow. Hey, you and me and the lights down low. Nothing on but the radio. Fall asleep here in the moonlight, and tangled sheets will be here all night. And when we wake up in the morning, hey, we might stay like this all day. Two people meant to be together, two lovers dreaming about forever, and it just keeps on getting better with every tender little kiss. Nothing on but the radio. Feel the music playing soft and slow. Hey, you and me and the lights down low. Nothing on but the radio. All right. Two people meant to be together, two lovers dreaming about forever, and it just keeps on getting better. With nothing on but the radio. Feel the music playing soft and slow. Hey, you and me and the lights down low. Nothing on but the radio. Hey, you and me and the lights down low. Nothing on but the radio. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sir. Has Carrie ever been up here?
I don't think she's been up here with me. No, I don't think she has. I know she's been to over there at JP's and was
She's a little bit like my wife. Like, if you say, "Oh, we're going to the Bahamas to do a gig," I'm
Yeah.
going. I'm
Yeah,
going. Going to
exactly.
Milwaukee. I'm gonna set
kinda
this one
busy.
out. I think. You know,
How you doing
Cleveland.
over there, Uncle Wynn? You about ready?
well, if you're gonna keep on about it, I guess.
All right, then. Well, shoot.
Yeah, my wife, she thinks I don't give her enough privacy. I mean, that's what she wrote in her diary anyway. So. Took him a minute there.
Yeah,
It was like,
he got it though. Hey, he got it though.
He
That's
got
the
it,
main
he got
thing. Yeah.
Oh goodness. So, how many of y'all listen to country music at all?
Yeah.
Oh, quite a few of you. Okay, that's great. That's great. I was telling Casey, we came up here the first time I think I came through Milwaukee. We were up in the UP at Calumet or somewhere up there, playing a theater up there, and we got ice stormed in, and our flight got canceled. So we did the smart thing. We rented a van and drove through the ice storm to get down here because they had a flight out of here. And I was driving. The other two boys was drinking beer and smoking dope the whole day.
I just got beer.
No, that's great. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But I said, man, I was hoping one of y'all might help me drive, and they was hired in boat dock gas by then. You know, I was like, damn. I guess I'll drive the whole way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll drive the whole way
Yeah.
now. If you want to get home, they'd have probably been going about 30. I believe we're doing pretty good, Wynn.
Well, one would have been going 90, and the other one would have been going 30. You know. But you know the two
I
I'm talking
do.
about.
I do.
Well, one of them boys that was with me, Clint Daniels, me and him went in one morning, and we was going to write us a song for George Strait. He was fixing to cut, and we wrote this song. And he said, George Strait recorded our song. I was like, that's great, man. And then...
Look, sir, full service. Jeff Peterson.
oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, you notice he didn't send one of his flunkies up here to get... He came and did it himself. See? Now, that's a boss right there now. He ain't going to ask you to do nothing he wouldn't do. You know? But anyway, George Strait recorded this song. He didn't like the way he sang it or the way he sounded on it or something. And they took it down the hall, and there was this kid that was doing his, what was that, third record? Second record, named Jon Pardi, and they played it for him, and he loved it, and he cut it, and he put it out. It's called She Ain't In It. I appreciate the call, means a lot and all. Yeah, I got a minute. You and me can talk about anything you want, long as she ain't in it. Say it's been at least a month since I had any fun, buddy, I'll admit it. And I'm into going out think I'm ready for a crowd, long as she ain't in it. I don't wanna hear her name, I don't wanna see her face, I swear. 'Cause I know it's gonna hurt if I run into her somewhere. Yeah, we can hit that place down by the interstate, out past the city limits. Hang out all night long and to hear a country song, long as she ain't in it. Don't wanna hear her name, I don't wanna see her face, I swear. 'Cause I know it's gonna hurt if I run into her somewhere. I can drink and I can dance, I can party, I can laugh, but no matter how you spin it, everything has changed, my life won't be the same as long as she ain't in it. Long as she ain't in it.
So good, man.
I'd bring a tear to a glass eye.
That's right. That's exactly right. Y'all having fun? I wrote a song with my buddy Mark Nessler that Randall King had out called Hey Cowgirl that was a hit down in the state of Texas. #1 down there with him. Actually, we wrote that song with Randall. We had started that song, Nez and I did, and had a write with Randall, and we showed it to him, finished it up, and it helped him get his deal up in Nashville at Warner Brothers, and he ended up putting it on his Nashville record as well, and a few other songs that I'd written with my buddy Brandon Kinney and him, and so Randall was coming around to make a new record, and it just came out about 2 or 3 months ago, but I kept trying to figure out how to get in a room and write with him again, because he was out playing a ton, and the only dates that he had, I was gone doing something else, or maybe had another write with that I couldn't move, and so we never did get back together to really try to write something for the new record. So, and like we do, we try to continue to, to grow those relationships with those artists and making records that we've had songs on or hits on, and hopefully that they'll come back around and cut something else of ours. And I pitched this song, actually Sony, my publisher pitched it, I pitched it, maybe they pitched it twice, but 2 or 3 times to Randall's people in his camp, and every time they passed on it, and they kept passing on it, and so it got close to Randall cutting his new record, and I didn't have anything in the pile. And I'd done a demo on this song that I wrote with my buddy Brett Cherokee, and I thought, man, I'm just gonna fire this off straight to Randall, because I ain't getting anywhere with his people. And so anyway, one night I sent this to Randall, just texted it to him, and about 20 minutes later he hit me back and said, man, can I have this song? And I said, yeah, man, that's why I sent it to you. And he said, dude, I'm going to cut this song. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was about 3 weeks away from when he was cutting. And they had a song meeting right before they went in and cut, and he sent me a picture of the list of songs he was going to do, and this song was on there, and I was really tickled because couldn't wait to hear him sing it because he's just one of my favorite new country artists, country singers. He's really, really good, y'all. And anyway, it's called Hangin' On. Well, I'll tell it like it is. I never thought that this would last this long. 'Cause a guy like me keeps a good bite up his sleeve for moving on. And there ain't no way around it, no doubt about it. I couldn't have been more wrong. But I'll tell it like it is. I never thought that this would last this long. And I'm getting the hang of hanging on to what I'm holding. Getting used to you being who I wrap my arms around. And far as forever goes, you never know what it holds. But I know this, I'm getting the hang of hanging on to what I'm holding. Think I finally got a feel for the way it's supposed to feel when it feels right. There ain't nothing that I felt with anybody else ever felt quite like. All this peace I've come to know, this easy in my soul, and all this gentle on my mind. Yeah, I think I got a feel for the way it's supposed to feel when it feels right. I'm getting the hang of hanging on to what I'm holding. Getting used to you being who I wrap my arms around. Far as forever goes, you never know what it holds. But I know this, I'm getting the hang of hanging on to what I'm holding. I'm getting the hang of hanging on to what I'm holding.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
That's country music right there. I told Brice the last thing my Uncle Charles told me before he kicked the bucket was, "Hey, Wynn, watch how far I can kick this bucket." I know that's dumb, but
I love that, man. That's one of my favorites right there. I've told that so much, William.
have you really?
Yeah, this older gentleman, man, that worked on our house. After he worked on our house, we've been really good buddies ever since.
It wasn't me.
No, no.
I'm no gentleman.
Yeah. But
Just kidding.
I called him as soon as we played that thing down there at Chiefs, at Church's place. You told that. I called him and I said, man, I told him that, and boy, he was, well, what'd he say, Brice? What'd he say? I told him, he went, oh, he said, that's a good one. I'm going to tell my preacher. He said, I thank you for sharing it with me. I'll be able to tell my preacher that one.
Oh, Lord. See, we ain't got nothing else to do but make up crap like that. It's like, I was so Brice been writing with this boy quite a while. This boy out of Wyoming named Chancey Williams, and he introduced me to Chancey, and he's a good boy, and he's out there playing the road and beating the roads up every week, and works really hard. And I don't know, Chancey heard me play this song one night, and he said, I want to cut that song. So I think Chancey might have a shot at doing something. We'll see, you know. But he's really good and just a great guy. And I wrote this song with this guy from American Idol. No, The Voice, yeah. And he was like, these two buddies of mine said, you got to get with this guy. So, I mean, we write with them American Idol guys and the Voice guys and the damn American Got Talent. How many TV shows can they come out with?
No doubt.
And we just all trying to get them on the CMAs, you know. That's all we trying to do.
Exactly right.
So anyway, I asked this kid, I said, what you got? What you want to write? And he told me this title, and I said, well, that sounds like a song back when men and women met each other in bars. Does that still happen? Because y'all all swiping now, right? And he's like, no, man, we still meet them in bars sometimes. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you know about it, because I know quite a bit. Me and Brice.
Yes, he does.
And
back in the penny beer days.
That's right. So he said, well, I know what a butterface is. And I said, I don't even know what a butterface is. And I said, tell me what that is. And he goes, that means everything looks good but her face. And I said, man, that's horrible, man. I can't even believe people say so. I said, but that's going in this song. We're going to put that in there, you know. So anyway, we wrote this song, and the guy from The Voice didn't cut it, but Chancey did. So he said, my people will love this. So. We were out one night in a neon light, just me and my best friend Clay. Two girls at the bar turned around and started smiling and looking our way. And Clay said, mine is about as fine as a frog hair split three ways. But yours, my friend, I must admit, is a bit of a butterface. So won't you take one, take one for the team. She ain't just right, but in this light, she ain't the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, I hate to say when it's getting late and the pickings get a little lean. Somebody's gotta take one for the team. I said, now hang on, boy, why is it your choice as to who winds up with who? Last time you picked, I got that chick about as ugly as a bowling shoe. I'm still a little scared, still have nightmares from the last time I got burned. Kinda traumatized, and it just seems like it ought to be your turn. So won't you take one for the team. She ain't just right, but in this light, she ain't the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, I hate to say when it's getting late and the pickings get a little lean. Somebody's gotta take one for the team. Now it's closing time and the girls are fighting, and both of them are pointing my way. I was feeling cocky, but it really rocked me when I heard the pretty one say, won't you take one for the team. He ain't just right, but in this light, he ain't the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, I hate to say when it's getting late and the pickings get a little lean. Somebody's gotta take one for the team. So won't you take one for the team.
sir.
Oh,
That's how you do it right there, y'all.
say what? Look up Chancey.
That's right. You'll get it.
Has he put that
It's
stuff
not
out?
out yet, but it's
Okay.
coming out, and
It's
you'll get
coming
a
out.
chance to. You'll get a chance to hear it. But it is an amazing tune, man. It's so good.
It's really stupid, but you know.
It's really well
It's fun.
written to the T. Oh man, but thank y'all so much for listening, man. You guys are a great crowd to play for, man. What a blessing. Honestly, what a blessing. And thank you, Ryan, back there for great sound, buddy. This place is awesome. I love coming
Yeah,
up here and
thank you,
playing.
Ryan.
I love every time Jeff sends me a daggum text like, hey man, what about so-and-so date? And I'm like, man, who you want me to bring? He's like, your choice, come on. And I love to see it because I always love to come up here and play because I know how great it's going to sound and how many great people we're going to see. And it's just, Wynn and I play a ton of these all over the country, and we've been blessed to play in front of, some amazing people. But, man, I'll put this crowd up against any of them, honestly,
every
man.
time,
It's great. Thank y'all for listening, man. Thank y'all so much for listening to what we do. Another hand for Jeff Peterson, y'all. He makes it all happen right there. That guy right there. Man, I'm gonna play this song. I wrote this song with my buddy Terry McBride and a new artist at the time named Craig Campbell. And Wynn and I were just talking about this artist backstage and how it's cool that he just keeps, man. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. He just keeps repackaging things and putting them out and stuff like that, and it gives us an opportunity to, it just generates more income for our songs. And I wrote this song, like I said, with Terry and Craig. Terry McBride and I have been just great friends for a long time, and he was in the group McBride and the Ride back in the 90s, one of my favorite groups, man, the 90s, and we just become really close friends and written a lot of songs together, had hits together, cuts together, and we had been writing about every Wednesday or every other Wednesday at this time for a couple years. And Keith Stigall was producing and had a new artist named Craig Campbell at the time. And he was like, hey, man, would y'all write with him? And I said, yeah. I said, tell him to call me or whatever, and we'll get a date. And we were writing every Wednesday. And so Craig came over that day, and he had he said, man, I think I got a title for a song. And I said, cool, what is it? And he said, the title is All-American Comeback Kid. And he was telling us about this story he'd seen on Good Morning America that morning about this kid and how he'd, last second of the game, he ran in the winning touchdown, and they did a big write-up on him, the All-American Comeback Kid. He won the game, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, man, that's cool. And so we wrote first couple verses and chorus of this thing. We were just trying to figure out, well, what do we do now? Now that we've kind of got what we got, now where do we take this song? And so we talked about it, and I had a really good friend of mine that served at Fort Campbell. I'm originally from Kentucky, and my folks' family farm's about 10 miles from camp up there at Fort Campbell. And through the years, we raised a lot of tobacco and had a lot of cattle and put up hay and all that stuff. And through the years, we'd get, sometimes those service guys would come help us, on the farm and stuff when they weren't, working there on the base. And 2 or 3 times, I guess, we've had really great folks come that have still been lifelong friends of my family and my dad. So anyway, there was a sergeant major that was in the Special Forces, that made Special Forces, which is high as you can go in the Special Forces. And his name was Kelly Mahoney. He was a dear friend of mine. I team roped with him, and I was telling him the story about him. I said, man, let's write this thing about him on the back half of this thing. And they were like, yeah, man, let's do it. And so we wrote this song, and as soon as we got it done, Keith loved it, and they took it in and cut it on Craig. And Terry and I were singing harmony on the day that we put down the work tape, the guitar vocal and stuff. Terry plays bass, and he's amazing. I was playing, Craig was playing, and Terry was playing bass, and we were singing harmony. Craig's a great singer. And anyway, so they asked us to come over, and when they cut it, they said, will you come over and sing harmony on the record? And we said, sure, man, we'd love to. So Terry and I got through writing one day. We drove over there to the studio, went in, and I put my part down. Terry went in and put his part down, and they threw it up on the big speakers there in the studio and just kind of tweaked it a little bit and played it back for us. You know, man, we were high-fiving. We walked out the door and drove straight to the boat store and bought a couple boats. We were so excited about this song, it was crazy. And we bought us a couple boats and went on about our business. And a couple months later, we were headed to the lake, and Craig's record had just come out. We were like, hey, man, let's go to the lake, and we'll stop by the Walmart and pick us up a copy of that record. Give us something to listen to. So we did. We go in there, and we find the shelf that's got all the new releases on it. We found Craig's record, picked it up, got us a couple copies. We was walking to check out there and flipped it over and looked at the titles on the back of the record, and our song wasn't on there. That's what I said. On the way to take our boats back to the boat store, we, after we found out our song wasn't on the record, we were kind of up the creek, if you know what I mean. So we was over there, and I called Keith Stigall because he had produced my stuff on my record deals, and I said, Keith, what happened, man? What's going on? Why didn't the song make the record? And he said, well, man, promotion didn't think this or whatever, and it didn't end up there or whatever. And I'm handing my key back over to the dude at the boat store with the yellow floaty on it, you know, and stuff, and he's taking it, and I'm kind of pissed off. And anyway, and Keith said, but I tell you what. And I said, what? He goes, man, I promise you that song's going to get cut. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, whatever. That don't do me any good today. I had a boat, now I don't have a boat. So anyway, fast forward about 2 or 3 months later, I was playing one of these things down during CMA Fest. It's Fanfare is what I've called it forever, but it's called CMA Fest now. And riders around, and some friends of mine were in town, and so later that night after I got through playing, I was hanging out with them, and it got to be about midnight or whatever, and I get this text on my phone. It says, hey, man, I think your song got cut today. And I thought, oh, crap. Because I knew who was in the studio cutting at that time. And it'd been a long time since he'd been in the studio cutting. And I thought, oh, man, could it really be? And so I had the engineer's number, Mark, and I thought, man, I'm gonna text Mark and see if he's working on that record too, you know. And I fired him off a text, said, hey, man, did y'all cut a song called All-American Comeback Kid today? And I was hanging out, and you know how you do. You got your phone up there, and you're looking, and you're waiting for them bubbles to pop up, you know, and just waiting on, oh, man, come on. And dang, them bubbles popped up, and I thought, uh-oh, got a fish on the line now. And I'm looking, waiting to see what his reply is. And it came up with a big YES exclamation point, and you're going to love it. Yes, and you're going to love it. And I thought, that's amazing. So what didn't end up on Craig's record ended up on a comeback record for a guy named Garth Brooks. Yeah, it's crazy, man. This business will drive you crazy on one hand, and on the other hand, the good Lord will go, you know what? If you'll turn this over to me and let me have it, I'll take care of it. But if you want to worry and stress, go ahead and worry and stress. But if you'll let me have it and give it to me, I'll show you where these songs belong. And that's what he did with this. So Wynn and I was talking back there. This was on the Man Against Machine record, and he did it at the ACM Awards that year at Dallas Stadium down there at Jerry World, and had all the troops come down and march down, and Chris Kyle's wife introduced him, and it was really cool. He played a red, white, and blue Buck Owens Telly on the show, which I loved. But when we got to hear the record, we all got to go over and hear our cuts because Garth had us all in the studio to hear the record. And he said, man, I tell you what, he said, the reason I cut this song is because y'all brought the soldier home alive in the song. And I just thought that was so cool because it just gave a nod to my buddy Kelly Mahan, who was served our great country. And if there's anybody else in here that served our country, God bless you, we love you. He was the captain of the team his senior year. Had that look in his eye that said no fear. Down by 6 ball on the 10. He said, huddle up boys, we got a game to win. snapped the ball, he looked left then right, and nobody was open, so he tucked it tight. With the champion's heart inside of him, the clock ran out as he ran it in. And the whole town cheered, and his mama cried. They rushed that field and raised him high. With his picture in the paper, the headline read, "The All-American Comeback Kid." He was recruited by the best schools across the land, but he decided to sign with Uncle Sam. Kissed his mama goodbye in the living room, said, "Dad, don't worry, I'll be back soon." 3 tours of duty and a silver star. He flew back home with his battle scars. Stepped off the plane in his combat boots and saluted the red, white, and blue. And the whole town cheered, and his mama cried. They rushed that field and held him high. With his picture in the paper, the headline read, "The All-American Comeback Kid." He's the All-American Comeback Kid. And this song's for those who never did come back home, All-American Kid.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, man. Hey. That's stronger than a garlic milkshake right there. I'm trying to think what to do. Y'all want to hear one you heard before or one you might not never hear again? Butterface. We already did Butterface. You know what? People always call that song Butterface. No, no. Take one for the team tonight,
Take one, Butterface.
man. Well, I tell you what, I've been through Milwaukee to catch a plane. That's the only time, or drive through here, but I've never spent any time here, and it's really nice. And I think the closest I've been to here was Chicago. Yeah, I know. We was over there one night. We were there the night the Cubs won the World Series. You remember that? Yeah. All right, there you go. Well, the game was in Cleveland. The game was in Cleveland, right? Yeah, the game was in Cleveland. So me and Brandon Kenny and Shane Miner went up there, and we was playing for all your country radio guys up there, and stayed right on Michigan Avenue, and we didn't know where we was at. We was just like in a big city. We knew that. And so we played early so everybody could watch the game. So that's a big thing, you know. I mean, it was the last game or whatever. And so the Cubs won, and it was on TV, and Michigan Avenue's going crazy. The whole town's going crazy. Shane Miner went back to Nashville. He drove back to Nashville before the game ever started. And Brandon went to bed, and I said, y'all crazy, man. I'm going to get out here amongst all this. I want to see what this is a party, man. This is historic. So I went down to Michigan Avenue, and I went to this bar, and it was rained that day, and there was a old homeless guy sitting out there with a fishing pole, fishing in this little puddle out there, you know. And I thought, oh, my gosh, he ain't right, you know. Look at him. He thinks he's going to catch fish in that. So I said, hey, old-timer, I said, come on in there, and I'll buy you a beer. What do you say? He said, all right. So he got up, and he come in there, and I went to the bar and got us a couple of beers and come back to the table. And we was having a beer. I said, how many of you caught today? He said, you're number 6, he said. Damn. Country boy goes to town. Well, I'll end up with this one since me and Brice wrote this song. He was talking about that Camus wine and all that. And see some of y'all drinking wine out there. Now, y'all probably drink that fancy. At my house, my wife drinks like a glass of wine a month or something. So I get the box, the Boda box, you know. I'm like, and it just lasts longer, you know. I'm tired of pouring wine down the drain. We got together to write this idea we had, and sometimes you just got to write an idea. It don't matter if it's a good idea, you know it ain't gonna get cut. You got to write it anyway. So we wrote this song, and we decided that it needed a motel because it's a sexy song. Now, y'all gals, hang on just a minute now. I'm telling you, it's sexy. And Brice probably played this down here before, but we decided it needed that sexy Motown kind of thing, you know. And it actually got cut by a guy named Dillon Carmichael.
Who's played here as well?
Dillon's been up here. Last glass of a Boulder box, she finished that one off. She winked at me, I thought, baby, I'll be right back. Ran down to the grocery store, yeah, to pick her up one more. Noticed right there by the door, that firewood rack. I thought for a few more bucks, I could really improve my luck. About to heat this cold night up and get to making all kind of love. I got this hickory bundle and this fancy box of wine. Done went to all kind of trouble just to get home and find her passed out on the couch, buzzing like an old chainsaw. This ain't good, 'cause I got wood and she's sawing long.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do, cleared my throat a time or two, stomped all around the room, but she never made a move. Had more than my hopes up, but I guess that window's shut. I got this hickory bundle and this fancy box of wine. Done went to all kind of trouble just to get home and find her passed out on the couch, buzzing like an old chainsaw. This ain't good, I got wood and she's sawing long.
I believe they've been there, man.
I guess I'll get me a cold Coors Light, 'cause that's all I'll get tonight. I got this hickory bundle and this fancy box of wine. Done went to all kind of trouble just to get home and find her passed out on the couch, buzzing like an old chainsaw. this ain't good, 'cause I got wood and she saw it long. Yeah.